The crypto September trap persists right now. We can see Bitcoin is breaking down from this rising wedge pattern, and you may be wondering, are we going to be breaking to our lows, or is this a massive trap? And that's exactly what I'm going to be covering in today's video. Bitcoin is narrowly holding EMA support, and we're actually holding this horizontal level of support as well. So we need to be discovering, is this going to be holding for Bitcoin, or is there some lower prices that's going to be imminent? I have a lot of data points and a lot of charts prepared, so make sure to be watching till the end. And I have Ethereum as well lined up for you guys, and we're going to be covering all the relevant levels and scenarios also, so make sure to be staying tuned. And yeah, let's not waste any more time. Let's go straight away in towards this banger. Bow. So looking at the Bitcoin price, we can see from this chart that we covered on our previous videos, we did not manage to reclaim that $112,500 level. So you can see right there, the Bitcoin is rejected from that level and is heading down towards the downside right now. And the reason that it was most important that we actually reclaim the support is the fact that we've been putting in lower highs, as you can see, and lower lows. So the fact that we couldn't put in a higher high and then a potential higher low indicates that Bitcoin is not ready to actually reclaim that support level right now. Now we can dive into the lower time frames, and you can potentially argue that Bitcoin is potentially putting in a higher low. So if you go into the 4-hourly time frame, we can see that Bitcoin's price action has just been lower lows, lower highs. But you can see that potentially, if we defend this low and this becomes a higher low, we can actually go in and put in a higher high and potentially put in an inverse head and shoulders pattern over here, as you can see. So if we can actually hold this level and we can start to move towards the upside, it is possible we can put in a higher high and reclaim the support level and move higher. But we haven't actually put in a higher high first. So that's one reason why Bitcoin's price may actually see a move further down towards the downside. And you may be wondering, what's the next price target for Bitcoin? And the price target will be just above 100k. And you can see this is because we have a measured move from our double top pattern, and you can see this lines up with this massive support level where we previously had reactions from as well. So this is going to be the next level that we're going to be looking for Bitcoin to be bouncing if we can't defend this low at 107k. Now we can look more closely at this Bitcoin returns to actually decipher what's happening with this crypto September seasonality, and you can see over here that September is actually positive so far, and that's actually debunking the myth that every post-halving year we have a negative return. We can see in 2017 we did have a minus 7.44% return, and in 2021 it was minus 7.03% return. But like we covered in our previous videos, the August before the September, so the prior month, was massively bullish on both years, but this year we can see that August was negative. So this may mean that September is actually bullish, and we actually followed 2023 and we actually followed 2024, where we both had negative Augusts, and the next month was actually bullish in towards Q4. So we can see that right now we're in September and we've already had our dip, just like 2023 and just like 2024. So it's likely that Bitcoin actually starts to move towards the upside now, given that we've already had our dip. So if this is the case, I expect this massive support level to actually hold, and this is going to be a massive trap where people are expecting us to actually break down, but we actually start to move towards the upside. Now, another reason why I'm thinking that it's more likely we move towards the upside is the fact that we're trading in a falling wedge pattern, as you can see over here. So this falling wedge pattern is actually retesting right now after rejecting from this massive mid-range. So of course, if we can actually start to see Bitcoin bounce again, like I've said, we need to put in a higher high and actually hold this mid-range, and that's where we can actually see Bitcoin move towards our next resistance level. So we can see in our short term, Bitcoin's grabbed the liquidity towards the downside, and now the majority resides above us. So it is likely we can actually start to see a move towards the upside again and actually start to reclaim some of our levels. So if we start to see Bitcoin move above 112,500, that's going to be a massive level where we can see Bitcoin move towards its highs, and that will mean that this double top scenario over here is going to be invalidated. Now we can look at EMA support for Bitcoin, and we mentioned the 21-week exponential moving average as support, and Bitcoin is holding that just narrowly, but we can see that the 21-week exponential moving average hasn't been the best this bull market, as we traded below it quite a few times. But prior to that, it's actually marked the top for Bitcoin when we lost it, so it was quite reliable then, and when we reclaimed it all the way from our bear market lows, it's been quite consistent. But we do spend some time below that 21-week exponential moving average. So a better moving average to actually look at is your 50 SMA and your 50 EMA, and this is the blue bands that we can see over here. These are the two 50 moving averages that we need to pay attention to, and we can see that it's provided a lot of support for Bitcoin when we had bottomed in 2023 and when we bottomed in 2024 off of that yen carrier cash trade. And we can see since the Trump tariffs as well recently in 2025, it's provided a massive support level for Bitcoin. So if we do not hold and we start to move towards the downside, it is likely around that 100k region we have our 50 EMA and our 50 SMA actually provide a lot of support for Bitcoin, and that's where we're going to be seeing a massive move towards the upside. But like we mentioned, if Bitcoin can actually hold our support level, then we would actually start to move towards the upside. If Bitcoin can actually break out from this falling wedge and reclaim 112,500, the picture definitely changes for Bitcoin and we can see higher prices. So if you're enjoying the video and you agree with my opinion, make sure to check that first link down below for BitTunex. BitTunex is a non-KYC exchange. It's global, so you can be using it anywhere in the world without having to do KYC, and they're also offering you guys a massive 20% on your deposit. So they're offering my community 20%, and you can see if you deposit $2,000, you'll be getting $400 in free money to be trading with. So I will not be failing this opportunity, as BitTunex is one of the only non-KYC exchanges that has never been hacked, that offers very cheap fees and offers a massive 20% bonus on your deposit. So that'll be the first link down below for BitTunex. If you want to be taking some Bitcoin trades and some Ethereum and altcoin trades, you could be using BitTunex, which is the first link down below, and you could be getting that massive 20% bonus. Now looking at Ethereum, we can see again the majority of liquidity actually resides above us, and the downside liquidity has been swept and is not that much below us. So that's showing that Ethereum is ready to move towards the upside. We can see that recently on this news that we've got, which was the unemployment claims today and our ISM data, and of course some non-farm employment change data, Bitcoin and Ethereum have been moving towards the downside, but we can see that Ethereum is on support right now from this massive falling wedge pattern, and we can see that it's trading on this level of support. So if we can actually start to see a move towards the upside again after this retest, that will indicate that Ethereum is ready to move towards the upside, and we're going to be seeing a lot higher prices. We can actually calculate the move using the previous move that we've had, and we could take it to the point of this breakout here, and we can see that it lines up just below that $5,000 mark. So if Ethereum can actually confirm this level of support, then we're going to be moving towards that $5,000 mark. Now looking at our horizontal support level, I did mention that if Ethereum can actually hold 4,300, that's going to be the massive turning point for me, since we've had resistance here and then we came to reclaim it and hold it here. We had some more resistance, some support here, some more support, and once we lost it, if we did reclaim it like I said, then it's likely we actually move towards the upside. So Ethereum right now is actually holding this level, and if we can hold 4,300, I do see us actually moving higher. But if we fail to actually hold 4,300, the next support for me will be 4,100, where we previously had some support over here. And you can see if we actually zoom out and we actually look at where the next price action was for Ethereum at this level, it was massive resistance in 2024 in towards 2025, and you can see earlier in 2024 it's been massive resistance also. So this is a massive inflection point for me. 4,100 is the next level if we can't hold this level right here. But again, it is looking likely that we do hold the level, since we're trading in this wedge pattern and we're holding the support level right now. You can see we're starting to wick, so I think that it's likely we can actually move towards the upside and we can actually tackle this liquidity. Now for that longer term for Ethereum, you can see it's massively bullish. We've had that V-shaped recovery like I've mentioned in previous videos, and I do see Ethereum actually trading a lot higher this year, so I'm not going to be staying bearish. We had our second monthly MACD histogram actually tick bullish, so this is actually looking really good, and it's indicating that the strength in Ethereum is there, and we're going to be seeing further price developments towards the upside. We can see the trajectory of the EMAs as well are angled towards the upside, and it looks like it's very steep, where we're going to be seeing Ethereum hopefully follow up a bullish price action and the EMAs continuing to move higher like we did in our previous flagpole. We can see the trajectory of those EMAs as well were to the upside, and that actually led to Ethereum actually moving a lot higher. We can also look at this 8-year trend line from Ethereum versus Bitcoin, and we can see that it's actually challenging a breakout right now. So at the minute, if we can actually start to break towards the upside and move higher, this is going to indicate that the strength in Ethereum is only just starting, since we're breaking from this massive 8-year trend line. So if we can actually break this trend line, I think that a lot of money is going to be flowing in towards Ethereum and your altcoins. So this is a massive trend line to be watching, and it looks like it's likely to break in the next week or so. So I think that if we can break this trend line, you're going to be seeing Ethereum move a lot higher, which is why I'm thinking that this pattern that Ethereum is playing out right now may actually be very, very bullish, given that we actually break above and hold that $4,300 mark, like I mentioned on this chart over here. But if we can actually start to do that and Ethereum starts to actually move towards the upside again, and we start to tackle that $5,000 mark over here, then I think that, you know, Ethereum is actually going to be moving a lot higher, and we can see this breakout from Ethereum versus Bitcoin. So yeah, that'll be it for me. Make sure to be following me on X to be staying up to date with all my updates over here, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Have a blessed rest of your day. Peace, guys. See ya. Bye bye.